Who would have thought that this would become one of the best rivalries in the NBA?
Point lead. Haliburton tries another three. Bang!
It's probably unnecessary. I can see it being a flagrant.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Oh!
Uh-oh.
Giannis
going to the locker room.
Fast forward a month where the Bucks would play the Pacers 2 more times and we would learn an insane deal about what these teams do and how they adjust. Initially, I thought it took 43.1 minutes for the Pacers to crack the code for the Bucks defense, but it was this man who is seemingly searching for his hair found answers through the game. The way the Bucks were matching up defensively was to switch everything, basically. Now the execution here by each team is just ridiculous. The Bucks switch the initial action at the top, putting Beasley on Tyrese Haliburton. The Pacers then try to pick on Lillard, so Turner called Buddy Hield up for the handoff, but the Bucks switch it again. Now Beasley accidentally fights over the top on this one. As you can see, Giannis is up to the level of the screener to switch. Miles Turner is now wide open, but Lopez quickly rotates down. Now his man is wide open, but the one recovering Bucks defender scrambles to the corner, executing a perfect rotation. Pacer pick and roll again. The Bucks switch. Lopez comes down to take Turner and points for Beasley to scramble out to his man. Beasley doesn't communicate properly, so Brook is forced to close out on the perimeter. That lets Jalen Smith attack, but then Beasley is there again to switch back, and Lopez reestablishes his position down low. Antetokounmpo almost gets caught ball watching, and the Pacers are forced to reset. High pick and roll, met by another switch, shot clock low, which is rare for the Pacers, and the Bucks made Indiana work for this one. The Giannis and Haliburton rivalry is a thing of beauty. Bucks switch it yet again. You know Tyrese wants to cook the Greek freak as he waves Turner to get out and let him cook. Intensity once again heating up as we go. Giannis switches onto Hallie. Tyrese is so clever. He knows that this might not be the best way to initiate the offense, so Turner comes back and they get the matchup that the Bucks don't want. Lillard on Tyrese. Ugh. Now this is embarrassing. Reminds me of when I pressed the wrong button on 2K. Tyrese hardly pump fakes the ball up and Dame is in the air on this one. Then a drive, Dame hilariously hits that jump button again. But then Giannis is there to seal off the rim perfectly and then step over top of Hallie. Ricky boy still not very happy, but this little genius would start button mashing the exact same freaking play. However, after the timeout, the Bucks would come out in a ball denial on Tyrese, and this announcer is going to insanely regret these words.
Pretty much under control, and credit Malik Beasley, but just the scheme and the team defense, as I say that.
Yes, and it will be spam. The Pacers run an action what is called blind pig, where you pass the ball to the big and then cut to counter the pressure. The most important thing to understand at this point, the Pacers are tired of the switching defense, and they are going to begin the process of putting Brook Lopez into pick and roll.
Is your defense in trouble?
Next trip down, still down big, the Pacers do it the same way. They have all 3 players not in the action, standing on the weak side of the floor. Damian Lillard is also the low man, so should be coming down to help. Keep this in mind, it will be insanely important later. Happiness still lacking though. Tyrese Haliburton is leading the league in pick and roll scoring, averaging 1.15 points per possession. My friends, that is insane. Attacking once again Brook on the screen.
First to Giannis on the roll, that time beautiful pass.
The Bucks are so predictable when Lopez gets put in the screen because he does not switch, he stays in the drop. The Bucks really made the Pacers work trying to keep the ball out of Tyrese's hands. Notice the ball pressure as soon as he passes it away. Beasley is way up in the gap as he knows that he has bigger things to do than worry about help defense.
It's like almost a contrast in every single
I am going to need your help on this one. Is there any way that you don't see 3 steps here?
Giannis, boy, that was he had to work for that too.
She must be right. The problem solving here is just ridiculous. Look at Dame fighting so hard to compete on defense. Finally, through the screens, the Pacers enter into a split set with Lillard in a top lock still. We get a beautiful back cut. Tyrese is also getting denied, so he takes one more step high, and Turner drops the pass that he probably should have made on the first cut. The Bucks know how to spam plays themselves. The Bucks run their famous double drag set. Dame feels the contact, but there is no whistle. The pass causes his defender to relax. Nembhard now has to close out. Dame collapses the defense and...
Dropping it off to Giannis. The 2 superstars hooking up for an and one.
few minutes later, they call out the exact same action, but it's actually a sneaky decoy. The entire weak side is preparing for the double drag to be ran. Meanwhile, Malik Beasley ghosts a screen, and the Pacers have no help because of the double drag threat. This is nothing, though, in comparison to the Bucks' most simple, yet for some reason unstoppable play: horns out.
Great job by TJ.
Okay, my bad. The Pacers stopped it one time.
One time.
If you're under 30, you do not know what that movie is. This play shouldn't even be good, but the Bucks run it so often. They score nearly every time. Again, starting with a screen, pushing Middleton to the wing. We also get another screen for Giannis, but he does something only the most elite players do. Watch, as soon as he notices that the Pacers are fighting over the top of this, he just stops in his tracks, backpedals, and that's a great anticipation as well by Middleton. Exact same action the next trip down the floor. This time the Pacers go underneath the screen. The Bucks know that this will give Giannis a great post-up position. Nesmith does a great job on this play, but Giannis's gravity on this drive pulls 3 Pacers to the rim. And this modification could actually make babies. This one combines the last 2 sets together. We get horns out, which then leads into a double drag ball screen. Whew. The epically sneaky part of this play is actually Brook Lopez tiptoeing to set one more screen on Haliburton. Beasley is actually shooting an NBA best 58% on the corner 3 this season. Remember those empty set pick and roll plays from before with the 3 players on the weak side? Well, guess what the Indiana Pacers would go and do down the stretch every single time. And the Bucks literally ran the exact same coverage. Yeah.
Haliburton again fades it back.
That's his spot right there.
And with the game on the line, the Bucks finally try something new. Giannis would pre-switch with Lopez so he could defend this screen, but look at how he casually walks up, combined with 0 defense from number 0, and
Haliburton goes past him and count the bucket.
The flair for the dramatic.
oh, the next matchup is where we get to see insane details for why the Indiana Pacers have elite coaching, especially compared to the Bucks. You could see this from the first play. The Milwaukee Bucks are using the exact same tactics as before, but Indiana is even more prepared. As usual, they switch up at the top. Lillard is going to chip down and then rotate out to the perimeter. This gives an insanely deep post up for Turner.
Pacers lob it inside. Here's Turner fading.
And again, Pacers targeting guess who? Brook Lopez. Giannis pre-switches this to keep Brook down low. The Pacers, though, keep moving off of the ball and pull Lopez out as Nesmith is shooting 38.5% from 3 this year. And then
You see, they're getting out to. Nice job. Good read.
next trip down, they do the exact same thing. Step 1, put Giannis in pick and roll. That gives Turner the mismatch. Swing the ball across to Jalen Smith, who went from 28% to 54% as a 3-point shooter from last year, and you already know the result.
Be patient. They got it again. It's the same thing. Pacers.
Ricky, you're insane, but this is hardly anything compared to what we have for you guys next. Remember the play that makes babies? Well, Rick can procreate a little bit himself. This starts again with horns out. Then we hit that double drag, but this time Bruce Brown anticipates that second screen and squeezes through. Tyrese then calls out the next step, and this time he just switches that screen rather than giving up the 3. That is beautiful. The Pacers get knocked for their defense all the time, but this game shows why they know how to make adjustments. 2 things I love about this one. First, check the hustle to get back. Toppin looks like he is completely out of the play giving up the 5-on-4, but he somehow sprints back. As soon as the coaches see they got a 5-on-5, listen to them from the bench.
Lopez is going to be slow to get to.
That would refer to the classic Giannis wall. When they wall up and slow him down, they all rotate back to their checks perfectly. And I love this here. Bucks run the exact same play that killed them in the last game. Empty set, pick and roll. Nasty screen by Antetokounmpo. Brucey can't fight over, but Toppin comes up to switch. Not drop. I like that. Giannis should have the advantage inside, but we've got multiple Pacers coming down to plug paint. Whew. Bucks run their horns out again with the wedge screen at the bottom, but the Pacers play it 100% different again. We get a full switch, pushing Giannis outside more. Then a switch right back as soon as the pass is being made. We get a double team, a rotation out, and that is perfect defense.
Both champs.
We cannot touch it again.
Dude, if you're hiring, just saying, Pacers have a clear understanding of this game plan to beat the Bucks on offense and defense. I would not want this matchup in the playoffs if I'm the Bucks. To get that full picture of what makes Tyrese special, you'll really want to check this video out over here.
Bake that pie,